and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Tony, back again. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Yeah, good. I'm here in London where we were in a heat wave, which is like for England, that's kind of crazy again. But yeah, it's been cooler the last few days,
What's the
but
heat wave there? Like what's the temperature for heat wave?
well, we've had 90 degrees. We've had 90
Oh, wow.
degrees. So
That is
yeah,
a heat wave
it's
for you guys.
yeah, hot, hot, hot. I mean, in England, if we get above 30 or 40 degrees, we're uncomfortable. 90 degrees is like fucking hell. It's like a real country and everything.
It's gonna be
So, well, that's one of the things, one of the great things about English people is like people go, you're also always so concerned about the weather. I said that because you don't know what to wear in the morning because you could step out into snow and end up in Hawaii and end up back in Alaska and then it's raining and you're in Seattle. I said, and that all happens in one day. We get like every season in one day sometimes. So, and depends which part of the country you're in. People
yeah.
forget sometimes we're just a little island. And so the weather's just sweeping across us with the Gulf Stream and where we're pushed down. So we just get all kinds of different weather. So, if it gets too cold and we get any snow, the whole country comes to a stop because we don't know what to do. And if it
The
gets
South is like
too
that here.
yeah, if it gets too hot, the whole country comes to a stop because we don't know what to do. So we seem to be okay with mild, rainy, grey weather. That seems to be our perfect go-to. We're okay. We can handle that. Anything else, and we're lost. Yeah.
I think people forget how small it is
Yeah.
size-wise because because at one point you guys had like the entire world. So I think
Well, yeah,
people in their minds
exactly.
feel like
Yeah.
it's huge because they feel like it's a kingdom, but no one actually
Yeah.
looks at a map and goes, "I cut this out here and I put it right here. It doesn't even fit in Canada." Or whatever, I'm saying. Like with countries, you start
No,
actually
but it's
taking
true.
sizes.
It's true. I think I read once, because I used to live in Canada and I went to school there and I think I remember my talking to my history teacher once about stuff and said, if you take the landmass of the UK and you ball it up, fits inside Hudson Bay, and there's like more people in the UK than there is in the whole of Canada, and it fits into Hudson Bay. So I think sometimes we get visions of grandeur and forget how small we actually are. So,
People don't really
yeah,
think that. People also think that you can only survive 24 hours without water. I've heard
yeah,
somebody do that. I mean, so that's just a crazy world. So
yeah,
speaking of crazy world,
yes,
you've had a good tour. We've had some
yeah,
positive things. You and I have been talking Venom Inc. for 4 or 5 years. I feel like we have a dinner. I feel like you have a dinner. I should be going out for together, a
yeah.
nice dinner together to celebrate it.
I
But
know.
when things started, right? And I posted something recently, and there's been some jibber jabber up on the internet and stuff. I wanted to talk to you, and you've had some things come to you also.
Yeah, we had
So a
some
few
good
things,
news and
good news. We'll talk about the good news first. But there's been some things that you've had some things from some fans reach out to you negatively. I want to talk about.
yeah.
I've seen
Oh,
some
okay.
things about some court stuff on Facebook or something weird stuff I want to approach upon, and some copyright garbage. And I want
Yeah,
to nip in the
yeah,
bud, right? And I want to nip in the bud and put it out there because you've been pretty, not pretty, but you've always been very upfront. And what it's going to lead to is when you were first on, and I'll put the clip shortly into this.
yeah,
When you had swapped out drummers and you got Kling to drum, you had talked
yes,
about the previous drummer situation, and in it, and Mantis and him are going to be playing some gigs together, but or at least one. Mantis really kind of tore him apart in his quality,
yeah,
his style, and everything. But even in that, even back then, you still were diplomatic. You were frustrated, and you worked with them, and you're disappointed, but you didn't tear him apart as much, which is kind of ironic because you still don't want to work with them. So it's how things are handled in the camp of Venom, and I think these are some things that I want to touch on. That's why I reached
yeah,
out to you because I've been
yeah.
hearing a lot of jibber jabber, and I wanted you. That's why I got in touch with you to do this. So maybe we can clear up some things.
Okay, well, thank
And
you. Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, it's Venom, so it's always like
well,
I
it's
kind of
hard because I know you've had a good year, and
yeah,
in a way where it's been positive with music and this and that. And I really haven't heard much, but once those two guys are doing something now, and which is
yes,
great, but
yeah,
this slagging, like once it starts going, and I'm seeing like fans getting, I'm seeing a lot of garbage out there, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I think before it gets out of control with this and that, let's take a minute
yeah,
and have you say, look, here's what's happening. Here's what's here's how we have things going on here. You guys can do whatever you want with the information, but here's where we're at.
yeah. I mean, I
Let's
think that's
talk
yeah.
in
It's
the beginning like that,
yeah. There's perspectives. Everybody has their own perspective, and that's fine. I think that's fine. We all
but
have our own
but facts
perspective.
also work. Facts and
Yeah,
receipts and evidence are the best way to see
yeah.
perspectives. Before we start that, you've had some good news. Let's start there.
Yeah, well, we signed with FM Management, which is a huge thing for us, and Frank and Steve and all the whole team, Jeff Butternick and yeah, I mean it was great, It just I think the thing is once I lost John Zazula and Marsha, sadly, when they passed, it was fine. I could, I'd ran this whole thing before, so I could run it again, not a problem. And I had Vadim Komic at the Flaming Odds, who's my agent, well, long-standing agent, but he would fill in gaps and help me out tremendously, which was fantastic. But it got to a point where I just thought we need to move more. I had too much other work. And then we had to think about new recordings. Of course, the band had moved around a bit, so then there was a bit more pressure. And I just thought, well, I need to have management back in place again, and a couple of meetings, and bosh, there we go.
Well, that's definitely a home run to get down. They have a great rep.
They're amazing, yeah, amazing, and they've got a fantastic catalog of bands. All Friends, Testament, of course, Forbidden. Contos and Chuck Billy, and Hyrax Captain, and just a great stable. And I thought, well, if we're going to go with someone who knows what they're doing, these are the guys. Dark Angel and stuff. Was it Dark or Death Angel? Well, one of the angels anyway, and Possessed, of course, Becerra, a good friend, all of the boys,
Right.
Claudius and everybody. So it just seemed like a good move. And yeah, we had a great meeting. The team is amazing. And yeah, they've been totally positive, and we're moving towards the new album, and we got 2 live albums coming out. We had an amazing season. We've got a big show coming up at the end of the year, towards the end of the year, and we're working on the new album now. So we thought, well, maybe it's time because after doing South America and then doing the USA. We'll be back in the USA around about January, it looks like, again. So bad to the bad weather again, which I was hoping for a summer in America, but never mind. But we just thought, well, we have the gap. So rather than try and fill it in with lots of festival stuff, maybe we take this time to get on with some personal business, but also to start the new album. So we've been writing furiously for that, and everything's sounding great. So we're in a very good position. I should be able to announce the producer very soon, and I'm very
All right,
excited.
it's me. I'm doing it. No.
Oh well, yeah, that would be
That
great.
sounds like a
But
bag.
I'm very glad about that. Yeah, lots of things were falling into place, and it was completely and utterly positive. And to your point about all of the garbage that's been going around in the gobbledygook, and fans writing to me, it was puzzling me, and I was trying to retort to people and give them what I thought was going on, or my opinions, which are my opinions are as far as what's going on is Kronos is doing a new album, fantastic. He's just done a very successful show in Finland. I think he looked to me like he's in the best shape he's ever been in, which I thought was amazing. And people can watch this and poo-poo it, but this is just who I am, and that's what I think. So there's no damage limitation or fucking careful handling of anything. I'm telling you what I think. I thought he looked amazing. I haven't heard the show, but I haven't seen any bad reporting on it.
I've heard good reviews. I've heard good reviews. I mean, and
Well, they,
I'm
yeah,
glad. I think
uh,
I think he
yeah,
should be doing stuff. I think, like I always said, more Venom. I mean, them. There's room for everybody. The other 2 guys can keep their stuff together. Let them play too. That's good. Just
well,
no more
exactly,
comments.
yeah.
I think there's
And
room for everybody to play. But one thing Kronos isn't doing, and you aren't doing, is talking crap about everybody else. You guys are actually out there playing. That's the one
yeah,
difference. And it's concerning because I think that's probably why the management fell into place. Why things have fallen into place, because also in this tiny music world, it's not that big. When there's discontent and problems in a band, it's not a secret.
no,
And nobody wants to get near that. And especially
no,
nowadays, when the profit margin is so tiny, no one wants a shred of aggravation from the band because you can get enough of it. So they're not going to come into a band that's just dissolving.
No,
You just don't think it. So
you
what you
know,
have, sorry, what you've had this year is it's shown the model that people want to walk in and take. You know what I mean? Saying it's like, yeah, this is the band. They're going to do their job. That's what we want to work with. Not
yeah. The whole point of for me, the whole point of music or entertainment, you can say movie, dance, opera, whatever it is, going for a meal, the whole point is to entertain you, is to get out of your normal zone of the crap that you have to deal with normally and
right.
all the stuff you have, the responsibilities you have, and have a free zone where you can just enjoy yourself. And so to then politicize all of that and start, crap on top of that is, for me, just, it doesn't make any sense. It's like that's the escapism. And you don't all have to watch the same movie and like it. You don't all have to eat the same food and like it. You don't all have to follow the same bands and like them. But that's the beauty of it. I mean, how many times do you have to say the beauty of being human is choice? You don't have to put it in your mouth if you don't like it. You don't have to. If your
Right.
fan base likes this and doesn't like that, then that's your fan base. And they can be two separate things. It doesn't mean to say one has to be destroyed completely. They can still coexist. You just don't buy albums that you don't like.
Right.
You don't go to the shows that you don't like. You don't listen to the stuff you don't like. That's fine. Listen to what you do like. But you can coexist. And the thing that puzzles me is when you cross over into the other person's zone and abuse them or bully them or try and tell them they shouldn't be doing what they want to do. It's like I don't think you have the right to do that. And you're not going to be able, because that person is going to feel just as strongly about what they do like as you do. So so you end up with these, particularly with online, I guess, because it's a free zone for free speech. So you end up, so many times I've gone on and seen people having arguments, and then they'll step out and go, well, I have the right to say what I think. It's like, yes, but now you're trying to put the other person down for having the same rights as you. So you want the right, but you don't want them to have the right. Well, it doesn't work like that. You all have the right. But as much as you won't be convinced by them, they're not going to be convinced by you either, because they have their free choice. I think from a personal point of view for myself is, there's shit talk all the time, and it's personal. It leans into slander and defamation of my character. And once that affects my business, then it has to get serious and it has to get professional. And but I just want people to get on with whatever you want to
Say
do.
different things, and I'm gonna maybe pull some stuff out of you, because we're gonna be real. Because you mean Venom has been just the world's longest divorce from day one.
Yes.
It's been you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of lawyers probably got rich. A lot of schools have been built because of this. But none of the
Yeah.
Venom guys got the money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of been bad deals, bad things I want to talk about,
Yeah.
screwing people over. One person is mad, but the other one, I mean, last time it was this guy was so bad, and then and Mantis got receipts about this one, and now
Yeah. And I
because he's let
thought,
me out.
that's true, Sean. For my part in that is
I get that.
I can't be doing with the flip flop thing. Mantis was my brother, and from my point of view, still is my brother, and I still love him. And regardless of whether I ever speak to him again, which I won't, but I love him, and I want him to be alive and be happy and be okay. That's it.
I
That's
get
it.
that.
And I don't care what he. When anybody says, "Oh, he's full of shit," and he doesn't mean that, I do mean that, and that's why would I change? Why would I change
We've
my whole
talked for
life to
many years.
not
I don't
be?
think, I'll be honest with people. Me and Tony have talked offline for many years. Tony, 100%, that's even my word on the show. Like, he does not talk crap like that about him. He really doesn't. He wants the best. I think where the frustration comes about is when they're personal things, they're not true.
Yeah.
That's where it's different. And that's what we're talking about. I do think you want the best for him. And I think I went back, and I don't usually go back because I hate watching all the interviews. But I
Yeah.
watched our first, it was like when I first started doing podcasts,
Yeah.
the interview and how you spoke. And I think even back then, I think you've always tried to keep them positive. I think you've always tried steering the Venom boat, not being so slaggy. But you were 1/3 of the team trying to be like, well, we had these problems, and I am frustrated too. But maybe if we just say it like this, and then you in the interviews you said it. You didn't
Yeah,
go after Abaddon the same way. I mean, Antics kind of went after him because he has his own way of handling. Because we all have our own way of handling people
yeah,
who get under our skin. But I think you've always kind of had that attitude, and now that you just had so much of it, too much after all the years, and that you're free of it,
yeah,
it feels so much heavier. You're like, because you probably had one of the most successful years for the band and the happiest,
yeah,
probably financially too, because there's been less changes of dates and everything else. Just
yeah.
follow through with a plan. That really even feels like it was a lot heavier than you even realized probably when you were in it. If you look back, that you had probably more struggling, in the
Yeah,
band.
it's true. It's true, and that's the thing is like me. I didn't sit on a fence, and I'm not trying to make everybody happy, and 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 I have no weaknesses in that respect. Um, I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. And I made that very clear when we began the whole thing. That's what I want to do. I haven't changed that one iota. And I want to make new music. I want to be Venom Incorporated, and I want to have our own set together, including my material from Primeval and Wastelands and Temples of Ice and Atomcraft if we do it, and new material and RV and There's Only Black. And if I go into a show like the first shows we did with Venom Inc. And, I put out to fans, if we're right in front of you, what songs do you want to hear? So the predominantly old school songs, because you had Abaddon and Mantis there, people wanted to hear classic songs. Okay, so we played the classic songs. The thing is, that flip has not changed. We just literally done a full European tour. And the first show in Weinheim, Germany. So I go into the show. We're doing a meet and greet. The table is full of all my stuff. All my stuff. There's no Welcome to Hell and black metal. No of the original releases from 40, 50 years ago. None of that. Just pertinent to what we were doing. So I'm feeling quite excited. I get halfway through the table, signing all the stuff. I look to the guy and I go, so, pointing to the table, we're going to play a song tonight. One of your favorite songs. What would you like me to play? Please play Angel Dust. Okay, we Angel Dust, but that's from the first demo with Clive Archer. Yeah, please play that. It means so much to me. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll see about putting it in the set. I go downstairs to go back to the bus. There's a guy runs across to me. He's in his 40s or early 50s, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! I saw you and blah blah blah. Would you sign this?" Yeah, and I said, "And which song would you looking for me to play tonight for you? Please play Bloodlust." Right. So I didn't make the decision, but I'm there. They've asked, and I could do it, and I've been doing it for 40 years, playing those songs. So I can do it. Why wouldn't I do it? He's asking me. So I played them in the set. Both people and other people came to me. Oh my God, I thought I'd never hear that song. Never hear that song. Now, fine for me. That's like, okay, was no problem. And I enjoyed it. And we communicated and it was brilliant. The set was still full of all the rest of the stuff, all the Venom Inc. stuff and everything else. However, then you fast forward and someone's going, you don't have the right, or he shouldn't be playing your songs, and they're not. And it's like, hang on, you're not telling me, you're telling fans that they shouldn't hear songs they want to hear when they have an opportunity to hear because you don't want me to. It's like, what?
And didn't have a problem when you did it.
And you didn't have a problem before when I did it. In fact, you were right there. And now you're choosing not to go to the show. So not only do you not want us to play those songs for anybody else at a show you're not even going to, you don't want them to go to the show either. Right. So, because you hate me so much, you just don't want me to have any blah, blah, blah. Well,
Success.
I mean, that's incredible. The drummer is doing what he wants to do, the way he wants to do it. If he's brilliant, it will be brilliant, and off you go. Be whatever you want to be. And the same thing with Jeff. He's doing the music he wants to do. in a place that he's comfortable doing it the way he wants to do it, fantastic. As long as they're live, as long as they're making music, as long as they're happy. Conrad's doing his thing, fantastic. I will continue to do my thing. And it doesn't matter how many times someone tells me they don't like me to doing it, I'm going to do what I want to do. Just as you should, they should, everybody should. Imagine I came to your job and said, do you like this job? And you went, yeah. I love making this engine. I go, right, I don't want you to make engines anymore. And I go around to everybody in there and say, I don't want him to make engines anymore. In fact, I don't want anybody even to work here because I hate engines. You don't think I was insane. You'd call the cops. But that's the kind of attitude that they've got. And I'm like, right, just take a moment. I know you hate me without speaking to me, without knowing any truth in there, just by listening to the gobbledygook you hear, with no evidence, with no nothing, and yet I'm allowing you to do that. If you want to hate me, well, I'm not allowing you. You can do it what you like. So, but you know what I mean. I'm taking it all on board. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. But it gets to a point where I'm just going. Just if you just stop for a minute and think about it, it makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. If I don't want to go and see AC/DC, I just don't go. I don't try and contact every AC/DC site to tell them they shouldn't be going to AC/DC because I don't think that's AC/DC because Bon Scott's not there. I don't write to Brian Johnson or get fans who are like it talking to Brian Johnson and write things like he sucks cocks for a living and he's not Bon Scott and he's like, I mean, I just don't get that. I understand people can say what they want and the keyboard warrior stuff, hide in my hide, blah, blah, blah. We all know all of that garbage. I just think as a person, what is wrong with your life that you feel so angry about at someone that you do not know personally that makes you want to do that? Now, I'm not trying to say to people, don't express yourself if you want to, because love and hate is the same emotion. It just is the black to the white, the yin to the yang. So that's fine. And if you're expressing yourself, great, express yourself. The whole idea of punk, the whole idea of extreme music was to be expressive on behalf of everybody who needed that voice to be expressive because politically
This is
we don't,
expressive.
yeah,
I
we didn't
think
have the power.
to say succinctly, I think the problem is it's the drummer and Jeff are saying things disappointed, making comments to fans and fan sites. It's getting back to you,
Yeah,
posting things that are kind of lame about you, and they're saying things that just aren't true. And
yeah,
you're also getting ripped off. I think that's where the freedom of expression comes slander and libel on different levels and different topics. I'm not saying a specific one, but this is the area where it's not cool. And I think when I reached you about this when we were chatting, I said, here's some of the things that have come up. That court thing was kind of misleading. I don't know. We'll talk about that with some photos.
yeah,
I think there's some things about ownership of like music have gone out and stuff, and I want some clarity on that. And you said, sure. I said, but one of the things you had said that it was a good time because you were frustrated with is that fans are getting kind of attacked,
yeah.
which is not cool.
Not
And
cool.
that's getting brought to you. My fans are like, well, what this
I
isn't
mean,
fun. This isn't.
this week, it happened. It's kind of happened all the way along. But this week, two female fans were both, in the last couple of weeks, were both bullied off bullied. One was bullied out of a group, because she posted something which she thought was positive because it was Venom Inc. So she hadn't, thought anything about it. She thought, oh, that's a really cool interview. Posted it into a Venom group who before, over the years, because she's a long-standing fan, had been posting Venom Inc. stuff. But now, no, you weren't allowed to do that. And so she got bludgeoned, so much so that she left the group and deleted and blocked. Another woman who is a friend who came to a show when we were in Holland or Belgium posted some thought for the day, and there was a picture of me and her, and an ex-band member went on there and said disgusting stuff on her page, under her post, under that picture. I mean, she wrote to me and was like, I don't know what's gone on. I don't understand, but I've had to delete that. I'm really sorry. She's apologizing to me because she deleted this disgusting slur from,
Maybe we should share that after. I should post it up and
you
you can
know,
see if
and
you
it's
want.
like, hang on, you don't have to apologize to me. And she said, well, I can't have stuff like that on my page. And
Of course she
I'm just,
couldn't. Why would
and I'm
she?
like, what would give you the right, or what would give you the, maybe you have the right, I don't know, but what would give you the impetus to go to someone's page who you don't know and write something under a piece that they've posted on their own page that has got nothing to do with anything
It's offensive on many
about you?
levels. A, you shouldn't. It's not cool to be jerk to fans. B, it's not cool to bully the women. I mean, people, anybody online. And three, it was gross.
Yeah,
Like that's just
yeah,
that's like you get in trouble for that. Like if you actually have like a regular job, you don't keep jobs with that kind of talk. You
no,
don't talk to that in
exactly.
public. That's something you don't because you should because people don't deserve that. There's like
Yeah,
many levels that I read it's awful, and I'm sorry she went through it because you can it goes back to liking any level of fan, you know. And I think that's one thing that needs to stop is you could just not like you or not like other versions of fans or whatever. That's fine. But do not go after fans. And don't be offensive. I mean, that's just
yeah.
creepy.
I think if you want to go, oh, he's a wanker, he's a twat, I hate him, I
Yeah.
don't like that, I think he's stuff shit. That's fine. Fine, fine, absolutely.
But not to the
But
fans. Don't go after the fans. No matter what the fan says,
yeah,
say the same
attacking
thing.
another fan is, what have they done? They haven't done
Right.
anything,
If he wants
and
to post it on his own site by himself and own up to it, that's one thing.
absolutely
But
fine. This
don't
is what
ever
I
go after a
think.
fan.
Then, yeah, that's fine. That's your statement, and that's fine. To do it within these groups, which are just attack. They were attacking Kronos all the time, and he just carried on and kept his. The band he's got now is the band he's had for I don't know how many years,
Long
and
time.
they've
It's a long
just
time.
a few albums, and they're doing their thing and playing their shows and doing their tours,
They're
and
probably
everything.
getting longer than the original band, actually, at this point. I wonder if
Probably,
you do
yeah,
the
at
math.
this point, yeah. I mean, you're
And that's
looking,
a lot for a band to just be together that long. I mean, you realize
yes,
to slug through all that time, there really is a lot that, regardless of, I don't know Kronos personally, but I'm saying for him to put the time in and all those guys to get to that point and stay together, that's a lot of
yeah,
work.
yeah. And you can attack his guitarist and attack his drummer, but they're a band and people are going to see them, and they sell albums and they sell shows. So it's like, okay, I don't see the problem there. If you don't want to go, then you don't have to go. But if you want to go, then go. I
Yeah.
don't kind of see that problem. And erstwhile, the same for the other two. If you want to do your thing, go do your thing. Nobody said don't do your thing. I remember, I even said that to Jeremy Kling when he had other issues and he had another job coming up, and okay, he attacked me afterwards, but at the time, he wasn't doing that. But we came to a cross section. I said, listen, I just need you to be happy. You go do what you want to do and just be happy. And that was it. I closed the door. I I didn't need to debate
Well,
it. I didn't need to discuss it. I didn't need to dissect it. I didn't need to slag anybody off. He underperformed and he was never the right drummer. And this line was much better than that line, because none of that is true. It's just what you say to get yourself out of the glue. It's like, listen, he did a great job. He recorded a great album.
yeah,
It got to a point where he wasn't happy and he had to be happy. And now he's happy. He's
yeah,
doing his
that's
own
right.
thing and he's happy. And
Right.
the same for everybody. If you're happy doing that, be happy doing that. So to perpetuate not just attacks, because of course you're going to be aggrieved for whatever reason, but to perpetuate lies and then try and spread that the dissonance and the hate across platforms to people who you don't even know. You're just that says a lot about you being unhappy. So why don't you put more your energy into being happy? So make what you're doing the best you've ever had, and then you'll be happy, won't you? Because I want to spend my time being positive and happy. I don't want to spend my time being negative, which is why, I could say lots of things about lots of things. Everybody could, but I don't need to, because that's not my focus. My focus is the music and the fans. It was, it is, and it will be. And if I happen to be 20 albums into Venom Incorporated, and you know, playing a stadium, and someone goes, "You wouldn't mind playing 1,000 Days in Sodom," and I can play it, I'll play it. Why not? Why not? Maybe they saw me playing it. Maybe they've heard the recordings of me on it. So it's like, yeah, the fact that I might not have right doesn't make me a tribute band. I'm playing a song that I think is a great song that friends of mine recorded and wrote, and I was part of those friends being in Venom. So it's like, yeah, if people want to hear me do it, then of course I'll do it. Because it's not
But you
about
were in the band at some point by the original members put together to form that stuff. So it's not like this is
yeah,
more than that.
it's
I
not
mean,
like
that gives you the credentials to say, you know, I did this for a reason because you brought me into this, you know.
yes, exactly, and that's my point. That's my stance on it. Is that I came in to write Primeval and to be in the band, and I was in the band, and I had a great time, and we did that. The fact that the business side of it will be settled legally is something else. But the as far as I was at the time, I wasn't as much. You could say now, looking back, I was naive. I'm not anymore. Of course, I learned my business, I learned my craft, but at the time, I wasn't naive. I was with my friends. I trusted my friends. That was my big mistake, but I trusted them. And if I went back again, I would trust them again. I'd probably do the same thing again because it's all a learning curve. And what I got out on the positive side, maybe not financially, all the money went, but on the positive, life affirming side, I gained. And that to me is more important. You know, I have a very good job. I get paid very well. I don't need to do this for money. I don't need to walk down a road with my knees in the mud, having people throwing bricks at me. I don't need to. I don't need to. So why would I do it then? So you're not going to make any money at it? Fuck off. And you think you know. Well, you can believe what you want. I'm telling you the truth. The reason I do it is the same reason I began. It's the same reason I was inspired, and it's why I'll continue to do it. I love people. I love traveling. I love playing music. And I love that communication between people, fans and the music. I love that. I love that. And that's my whole thing. You know, I would happily come off stage after playing an hour and a half, sweating, still in my stage clothes, and 4 hours later, I'm still standing outside the bus talking to people. And people will go, "What's wrong with you? Just like fucking come in, just leave them." And it's like, no, because that's part of it for me. That's what I want to feel their energy. I want to talk to them. I want to find
It's
out
a
who they
tribe. It's a
are.
musical tribe,
Yes,
a
it's
community.
family. It's family. You know, and many, many times I said the Venom family, and I know that people go, "Yeah, yeah, it's different." But it to me, it is. If it isn't to them, it isn't. But I don't care what it is to them. To me, it was a family. Everybody and everybody's part meant something to fans. And you know, not everybody was born in 1960 something and was there for the first albums. You know, some people weren't born when Primeval was put out. Some people weren't born when Captain Stone or Resurrection was put out. You know, some people were born in 2000 or later. So
Now you just
you
make me
know,
feel old. So you stop with that.
well, yes,
Point taken.
exactly.
I'm just feeling
But they,
old
but
now.
they, but they're later to the party. So you can't tell a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old that they're wrong, that their favorite album is The Wastelands or Resurrection or Primeval or Calm Before the Storm. You know, if that's the point of where the music spoke to them, then that's amazing. It's amazing the fact that it communicated with them at all. That's what should be celebrated. And, you know, if you get to this point and you didn't start at that point, you've got all the way up to that point and all the way after that point. More is better. So, you know, you embrace what you like. There's plenty there for everybody to play. And, you know, stepping into someone else's world to denounce it because you feel bitter is, I just don't understand why waste your energy on that. You know, one of the things that me and Jeff talked about was particularly after his second heart attack. Well, his first heart attack, but the second heart attack. Briefly, we spoke before everything wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
Was that the fact of where we were in our lives had impacted him. So there's not that amount of time left, and it's uncertain when it's going to end. So forget all the crap and just let's do something positive with it. And I'm sure that's part of his reasoning for doing this thing with the drummer. Maybe he's just thinking, oh, fuck it. I don't care. I just want to do something. And that's great. If it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel happy, then do it. The fans won't not want to hear it or see it or be disappointed by it. And so that's fantastic. That's fantastic. We all should have that. If the energies all spent on doing something like that, that's positive, and the fans get something out of it rather than the negative stuff and bludgeoning other fans, a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old, a girl fan who's just inadvertently posted the wrong picture or commented that
I don't think it was the wrong picture, and that's the whole thing. I think, and I would say this: if he wants to give somebody a hard time, I mean, he has your number, right? If he wants to complain about you, he could be man enough and talk to you. I'm sure
I'm not
he'd rather
hiding
have talk to
anywhere.
you than pick on a fan, right?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So it's like,
and there we go.
come
If
on.
there's a problem, just talk to you.
There
or
it
just
is. There it is.
Move
There
on.
it is. Yeah.
But leave things
And in
alone.
both cases,
Stop being
can I just
gross.
say, nobody spoke to me before the egg snapped, the egg cracked, or whatever it is. So it's like, right, and still haven't spoken to me. So it's like, okay, well, and that's fine. If you don't feel that you can, that's cool too. Okay, I'm open to it. But now to build this whole world where I don't know, the image they're creating is not the image of who I am. And you can ask anybody who actually knows me, people who actually talk to me, and people I actually meet. So you can talk to them. The painting and the propaganda, it doesn't match the evidence. Let's just say. So I just want everybody just to get on with what they want to do, be happy, be as fit as well as they can, and just let it go. Just let it go. Be
And if you're
happy.
gonna complain, he can talk to you. I mean, really, that really upset me. And I read that, I saw that. I'm like, what woman wants to share something positive on her page, friends, family, and work, and something that vile and disgusting gets posted publicly?
Yes, I
Attach
mean,
them. Everybody reads that. Like, what is that? I'll probably have to
you,
show it now, but I mean, it's like, I'm
yeah,
very upset by that because that woman did not deserve that. Was shown a
no,
happy
and
moment.
she's got no idea what the fuck's going on. You know what I mean? So she's like,
Lucky her.
what
But
is going on?
I do want to say to her, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I don't even know you. I'm sorry you had to do something so vile by something that
Yeah.
you've been so supportive of. Because that's
Well,
not who you are.
it's not an isolated case, Sean, and that's the thing. Is like I don't know how many people wrote to me, went, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but I had to do this because some kind of affirmative action because this was said or this was done," and I'm like, "Why are you apologizing to me?" Because they
Actually,
go,
if
"Well,
anybody else is saying it
because
and you're afraid to say anything, it's happened, put it back out there. Let people know. I mean, maybe we can stop it because keep it in the light. I mean, nobody should be harassed by, even if
no,
this was a member of a band you liked or whatever. It's just
yeah."
not cool.
But
There are two.
the consideration, and when because they go, I don't know what I should do. I go, you do what you want. I mean, just delete it and just don't worry about it. But nobody's going to report it and making a big deal about it. So that's another consideration for
But
them.
if you want
Everybody's
to, you
just
can
going
because it's gross. That's further than
exactly,
that's further than
exactly,
being disagreeing. That post was
exactly.
beyond.
It's
It's insulting.
unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It's just a band. It was a band who played some songs and made some music and managed to get some traction and had some bands. And internally, you have crises and you have things to deal with. And some one day you're all happy and the next day you're all not happy, and that happens. But a brotherhood kind of supports each other. But this was never something where, you know, the premise was that we're all supporting, we're all together. But clearly, as I found out to my own regret, that was not what was going on. That was what I was doing, but that wasn't what was being done. And okay, that's fine. We came to our finale, we came to our end game, and that's it. Now we all, you know, the two guys got out of my car, and I'm still driving my car to my destination. You know, I never said get out. I never said I don't want you in my car.
But I'd
They
like to
got
see
out.
the other two should just continue on if they're going to do music the same way you and Kronos are. Just do the music and not harassing anybody. Now,
Focus on that. Yeah, focus on the fans. The fans want to see
but
you play. The fans want to hear you play. The fans want to hear what you're doing.
right, and
Just focus
this is
on
all,
that.
also, here's the deal. So this is probably a two-part question. Maybe you can just put it all together and be easier. I believe it was Facebook, and I might be wrong. Don't quote me. There's some photos, some kind of focused of the two other guys from Venom and Venom Inc. going to court or something. Other
Oh,
pictures, some
yeah.
things inspired. So that came up with some like, you know, Blue's Clues, Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes mystery to leave you voting, kind of
Yeah.
misleading in a way. That tied in with there's also been some re-releases of other albums and stuff, and whether who has the rights to this, and also
Well,
art things. It's all kind of tied together, though. I think.
yeah, that was nothing to do with me. That was nothing about
well,
me. The core thing, as from what I know, is that Abaddon did a merchandise page through Label Dissonance, part of Plastic Head, Abaddon's merch, and used the logo that Kronos redrew for the black metal cover, and then they used it on A War with Satan, and it was all of that Venom merchandise. And it was from what I hear, Kronos took him to court to sue him for that. And they were all pictured because they had to appear in court. So the lawyer was there, and some witnesses, because he was fighting it. I guess the drummer was fighting the case. So that was that. It was nothing to do with me. However, there was a threat made towards me by Abaddon, where someone had written on the, oh, are you taking Dolan to blah 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 blah, and
Right.
he wrote, yeah, he's next. It's like, okay, right, fine, yeah. Why involve me? But okay, carry on then. You know, so but so far I haven't
He's
heard
next.
anything.
You're next at beating him at court is what he means, because
I'm next.
apparently
I was like, what
So-
the?
that is insane. So I think a few things. If you're actually a young band, this is very important. Own your band name, own the copyright of your artwork, and don't give up your publishing. That being said, these are all
Yeah.
important topics right now, because
Yes.
clearly, if you don't own these things and you put it out there, you can be sued if you say things that are true. It's called
Yeah.
slander and libel.
Yes.
It is a different world. You can't
Yeah.
just say what you think you're going to say like you're in high school anymore. Now, clearly, Gross sued him. He got the rights to the artwork and to the symbol at one point. However it goes about it, he probably owns the rights. Arguably, if he won, the courts feel he has it. The only way you don't have something is that nobody has rights to it legally, and
Yeah.
you have to prove who came with first. That's the only way things go on.
Well, as far as I understand from the re-releases of the Venom materials through BMG, the black metal in particular, on the back, it has artwork by Kronos now, or by Conrad Lant or something. I haven't seen that, but that's what I've been told. So I don't know. I don't have the reissues, or maybe I have the reissues because I get sent all the stuff, but I don't look through everything. But you know, so they're fighting amongst themselves again, you know, and that's fine, you know. And of course, the attacks, you know, aimed at me because of Venom Inc. But it's like, well, Venom Incorporated was put together. I came up with the name. And they wanted to use the original logo. We redid it. Jeff did the ink bit, and then we had it redrawn later, and that's what we were using. Then you leave a band, okay, you left, and then you leave a band, okay, you left. Okay, I don't see the problem. You know, 2 albums in with a record label and everything else is like, oh, you want it to just change like that, or I mean, they can go well.
Now, at that point, you're just quitting a company. You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah,
change the name of a company and
it's
quit it because you all leave it.
yeah, it's like, hang on. I just worked my tits off for all this time. You's elected not to be part of it, and now you're saying I shouldn't be doing it. It's like I put too much work in for it. You're not stopping me. Nobody's stopping me. It's like, and that's just it. It's what I'm doing, and it feels to me in a way, what's weird is it feels like, they destroyed my band originally, Atomcraft, and then the way to cap it all off was to bring me into Venom, and it feels
Wait. They
now.
destroyed the band?
Yeah, I mean, looking back, there was so many things going on. Again, no money. They managed us, so we never got paid anything, and we never got anything from publishing or royalties or anything. They took everything because back in the
Oh,
day when,
Venom managed you guys?
yeah, the Venom management, yeah,
Okay. So this is
and
an interesting topic, actually. Please use that to tie into the other stuff.
Well, yeah. The thing is, on royalties was back in at that time, you as a writer could not be part of the royalty collection society. The only people who could be part of that was a management company or record label. They were the management company, so they were the collectors of all of the royalties for Venom, Crap, everything.
That sounds legit.
So they would collect all the money. Then they were supposed to give us our royalty statements and everything else. And I have a pile of royalty statements with Tipex all over and pen written in. So I mean, and so they collected the monies and they just kept it. And whatever, that is what it is. But I just feel at the moment, through all of that, that I've come full circle. I'm now in a band that I'm enjoying. I don't have the politics anymore. I don't have to be constantly struggling and battling uphill to achieve anything. I have great guys who love to play, want to be out there, want to be recording, want to be traveling and touring, and that's what I want to do. And it wasn't, in the end, it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know if it was what Abaddon could do because he wasn't so well, and it wasn't what Jeff wanted to do, what Mantis wanted to do in the end, because he was worried about, he didn't want to die not being at home. So of course that was a consideration, but it's what I wanted to do, and I'm okay. And I'm sure lots of people will go, I wish he wasn't, I wish he was dead, but I'm not. And I train every day, and I eat well, and I keep myself motivated, and so I'm not going to stop my career because someone else wants me to stop. It's like, well, I wouldn't come to your house and tell you not to go to work tomorrow because I don't think you should, because I don't want you to. You just go anyway. And why? So why should I be any different? I'm not. And so I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And when we go out and there's no fans, when we release and there's no records sold, then okay, I'll consider it. But right now, RV is sitting over 1 million streams. The releases from the albums are like 700,000 and 200. So we're doing okay, and we can hold our own when we go out there. And like I said, we've just signed a great management deal. We've got some new big stuff coming. So it can't be bad. So if there's a portion of the people who don't like that, that's fine. Just carry on with your life over there, and we'll carry on with our life over here. And you don't have to cross-fertilize that. You can just be happy and not spend all your time looking for a word or something that I've said or done or that we're doing that you can try and loop into some bag of dog crap to throw against the TV and kick your cat on the way to work. It's like, don't worry about it.
Oh,
Don't worry
I
about
think
it.
what this is important in the talk is not even a bad talk. I think just throwing the air because there's fans that don't get involved in all of this. And they just want to know. And
Yeah.
it's like, wait, is Tony involved in a lawsuit now? No, we need to talk about that because that was very misleading. Or it should be brought to light about the way the fans are being treated. So everybody knows about it. So it's not one person feeling bad because in numbers, when it's out
Yeah.
there, that behavior should stop. And I think that's important. That's
And
the
you
point
know,
here.
and I think that's it. It's just to underline that, you know, from a fan's perspective, is they just like what they like, and when they're accosted by somebody and shouted at you know,
Abusive.
I mean, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know,
I mean, I'm saying, I just want to say those are I think the important takeaways. But I do have a question about. I've seen some albums come out and like different things and the songwriting credits on there. And sometimes I
yeah.
thought you were on some albums, and then sometimes I see your name not on it. And some albums I
Well,
see many times out there, and it's like a bootlegger's nightmare or
Well, the
dream.
management, the Venom management, which consisted of a manager and the drummer, and they used to do deals where they would reconfigure songs when they wanted some quick money. They'd reconfigure songs, sell it to a smaller label, and get like £2,000 or £1,500 or whatever. You know, they'd sell it cheaply, and you know, there's one which was a recording from Bonn in Germany. It was a radio broadcast. We got given cassettes, and they sold that one. I think it was we were playing with King Diamond, and
I
the
think that's what I'm
recording was
talking about too. Yeah, I just
okay.
saw
Well,
it.
the
I think it's
recording
come
was
up recently.
pretty.
That's why. Yeah.
Yes, that was quite recent, and the recording was pretty good. But they sold that. Abaddon just sold it again, but they've sold that about 5 or 6 times. So there was just this plethora of compilation albums, like 12 or more, you know, bootlegs, but they were all the same recordings, all the same songs, just being reconfigured and then resold as something else and retitled. And of course, a smaller label, was happy to get, you know, a Venom album they
I
could
guess
put
what I'm
out.
saying is sometimes I know you were on songs that some of these things
Yeah,
I think I saw recently, and I was surprised. I'm like, wait, I thought Tony he wrote the song.
yeah.
That's my
Well,
question to you.
one
Is
of
when I saw it come up, I was like, I'm confused now. Did you write on
some
those?
well, sometimes what would happen is, say, they would the label would not they'd be a bit lazy, so they'd go through a catalog of Venom pictures, pick one out. You know, there's one called The Collection, which is all me and the other two guys, studio and live. And the picture is the Calm Before the Storm lineup. So it's like, you know, so it's just someone lazy and others going, oh, that says Venom, that must be them. And then, but usually the publishing is all accredited properly because, you know, depending on the label, that would be. But in that case of that release that's just gone out, you know, I've got one song on there and I'm not mentioned again, you know, there was several years ago, I think maybe 10 years ago or something, there was an article where someone said, oh yeah, Cronus is laughing, going, and I even get Dolan's publishing. And he probably does, because that then gets sent to publishers. And when I spent 24 years chasing down the rights to Primeval and the materials, and the debt that was incurred, the monies that I didn't get from EMI and from BMG or Sanctuary at the time, there was tons of money that I didn't get. And I was like, listen, it's too late, and I'm not interested in chasing that down because it's a ball ache. But I did gather all the information. But I said the one thing is just the publishing, like the song assignments. And it was a pain in the arse because they'd been playing around with that all the time. If they were mad at you, your name wouldn't appear on the next release. If they were happy with you, your name would and the other guys wouldn't. If they wanted to make a little bit extra, all of a sudden there was another name on there. Who is that? That was the old manager. They just made up a false name so he could get his share, you know. And it was like, so so the publishing company, Notting Hill, they were, we don't know what's going on. This stuff is a mess, and they couldn't figure it out. But that was the whole track record, because they didn't have a consistency in how they were dealing with things. They just went, we need to get some money. How are we going to get some money? I've got a couple of tapes at home. And you had things like Bitten, Lay Down Your Soul. I mean, tons of stuff that was just, you know, we were rehearsing for a tour in the studio. We didn't even know they were recording. And that's gone out as an album. You know, they sold it, and they sold it 3 or 4 times as an album. I mean, it wasn't intended to be released. We didn't even know they were recording it. So it's like, you know, those kind of scurrilous things were going on constantly. So, you know, sometimes I get offended. You know, when I'm pushed on this, you know, he's a thief and he's this and he's that and he's money did it, and it's like, hang on. What, the one guy who's never stolen anything, the one guy who's never actually done a mistreated a deal, the one guy who's always told it as it was factually, the one guy who has all the collated evidence that is there to prove nothing went astray. You know, it's like, come on, really? But the fans don't know. You know, that's business between the business. That's the band. And yes, you can be aggrieved, and yes, you can disagree, and yes, you can be upset, but come up with the evidence and that's fine. But to try and convince fans that isn't true, this is true, when there's no evidence, they may just believe it because they feel bad for you, because they want to support you, because you're their hero. Fine, okay, I'll wear that, then that's fine. But then you taking it upon yourself to go and tell other fans who don't believe it, who have maybe seen the facts, who are aware of what's gone on, who have read all the articles, who've also followed the bands for 30, 40, 50 years, to tell them that they're wrong, well, that's insane. It's insane. And so I that's what bothers me. You know, it's like, leave them alone. Leave them alone. If you wanna be slagging me off until you die, carry on. Carry on. Um, but do it within your little group. Do it within your little page, and do whatever you want to do. That's fine. But don't go into other people's worlds and start to involve them in something that they don't want to be involved in. They just want to go to shows. They want to have some relief. They want to exercise their freedom of right to be entertained and listen to music. You know, my partner used to say, Genesis, you know, was one of her favorite bands, Genesis. And then there was a lot of internal problems, I guess, at some point with Genesis. I don't know myself, but there was some problems. And I remember her saying to me, I don't want to know. And I said, oh, it's just because I heard that Phil Collins and Mike Rutherford. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I just love Genesis. I just love the music. And I was like, oh, okay. And I learned a lesson from that. I learned a lesson from that. Just to
I
say,
wish I
just
could be
let
like
me
that, not get distracted by hearing all the other crap.
don't be distracted by it. Like Lemmy said, you know, just be honest and be good to your fans. That's what I am. That's what I do, and that's it. And if you have an opinion that that's fake or that's bullshit or that's blah blah blah, that's your opinion. That's fine. It's based on your opinion and what you've heard. It's not based on fact. That's it. It's just not based on fact.
I thank you. I mean, I think we covered, I think everything that questions I had. I thank you. I think, and it's really just, that was the point of just kind of put it out there, talk about some of these things that were bothering us. My questions, you know, and the one subject that, you know, keeps coming up to you, you know.
Well, I mean, thank you. You know,
But
I think whatever happens, I'll be attacked by, you know, those portions, you know, because that's how they feel, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, if that's what they want to do. You know, the whole just a cover band. It's not Venom. Like I said before, you know, I never said we were Venom. It's Venom Incorporated, okay, which means any music that we've ever played throughout our career, we can play it. We have liberty to play it, incorporating everything that we are, everything we've done, regardless of whether it's solo albums or whatever. That was the possibilities we could do. That's why it was incorporated. And Venom, because it's a huge part of their identity and my identity. That's why it was incorporated.
you were in
Incorporate
Venom.
into
They were in
everything.
Venom. It's that's how it was, you know.
That's it. And so to go, you know, when I tell fans, when they go, but you're not really Venom, because, and I go, but you're calling us Venom. I'm not calling us Venom. And if you want to go on a stage where there's 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people chanting Venom, Venom before we go on, go and tell them to shut up. Don't tell
You
me. I'm
recorded. You
not
recorded
chanting
under
it.
the. You recorded under the name of Venom, though. It wasn't like you were an auxiliary fill-in player for a
Exactly.
minute.
But the point is with Venom and Venom Inc., it's like, you know, like I said to someone the other day, he went, you know, blah, 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 not true Venom. And I said, but we're not saying we're Venom. You're saying we're Venom. Venom exists. Kronos has just played a show in Finland at a festival successfully called Venom.
Yeah.
He's putting an album out, which will be out with the title Venom on it. we're not Venom.
enjoy it.
It's
And they go enjoy
clearly
that
Venom.
Venom.
We're clearly Venom Incorporated. The fact that we may play some old Venom songs in the set only by request, only if people request them. That's it, full stop. So the fans are choosing if they want to hear them. And if they want to hear them and I'm there, I will play them because they're fun to play. They're great songs and the fans want to hear them and it might mean something. I don't want to take away an opportunity for an 18-year-old in Bosnia to not hear Angel Dust. Right, so I won't play Angel Dust. He's asked me, or she's asked me, but I won't play it because I'm not supposed to play it because I'm not on the recording. Even though I was in Venom, even though I've played it a million times before, probably for 20, 30 years, but I won't play it because, even though they've asked me, and it means everything to them, and then they'll never hear it live ever because they're not going to go to that place and play it. And Kronos might never go to that place and play it. Or if he does go anywhere near, maybe that person can't get there. So they've got me right there, and you want to deny them an opportunity. Their choice, not my choice, their choice. I'm only going, okay. And I've done that. I did it while everybody was in this band. The people who are not in this band anymore, I did it while they were in it. I did it before they were in a band with me, and I will continue to do it after they've gone, long after they've gone, because that's how I am. That's me. If you want to do it, then tell that kid he can't hear it, or the person that they can't hear that song, and you go and play it for them then because you won't. I'll go to their kitchen if I have to and play it for them in their kitchen on an acoustic guitar if that's what it takes. But you won't do that. So don't tell them they can't have what they want. It's not up to you. It's up to them. It's their music. That means something to them and it means something to their life. And I want to celebrate that. Yes, you wrote it, and I'm appreciating that. And in a way, I'm tributing your work as a medium to them, but they've asked me to. And that's as clean as it can be, I'm not telling them you're going to hear it whether you like it or not. And I don't make any money out of this stuff. They can sit on that and go, well, he's just making us money by playing these songs all over the planet. It's like, yeah. And at what point did I complain about that? At what point have I stopped doing it? Going, well, fucking, I'm not making their money. I don't care. It's not important to me. The music's what's important to me. And if you make £5 because I play it somewhere across in fucking Indonesia, good. Well done. Get yourself a drink. Happy birthday. I'm glad I could help. It's like, I don't care about that. It's not about that for me. It's all about the music, the effect that it had, and it needs to continue. And I'll burn the fucking torch or fly the flag or whatever you want to say for as long as I can until I can't do that. And that was the agreement we had when we began. Was Empire of Evil, which morphed into Venom Inc., was like, we don't stop until we can't do it anymore. And I can still do it, so I'm not stopping until that point. That was the agreement, and that's what's happening.
That's perfect. I thank you. I mean, I think this is good, and I want check out go to the site, check out the music. You've got more stuff coming. They got a couple of releases coming down the road. The fall is going to be a really busy time, and into the first part of the next year.
Yeah,
A lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah.
For the band.
Yeah, lots of things happening. The full season. We got Candlemas in November, 40th anniversary. We'll be playing in Derbyshire, KK Steel Mill, Mr. Downing Steel Mill. That's a celebration, special one, I'm sure. And between now and then, we're just working on the new album. Next year, there's a couple of promoters desperately trying to get me to do an Atomcraft tour, but we will be doing Venom Inc. and it will be, looks like, around about January, February for the USA and for Canada. In the meantime, the 2 live albums are nearly finished, which are just a celebration, one for Latin America, one for the world, just songs that we played live, just to say thank you to fans. And the new studio album, which we're looking at March of 26 to put that out just before we start the season's run. So it's all cooking, it's all good, and the feedback is amazing. I wanted to, we talked about negativity and stuff like that, but on the whole, and we are talking on the whole and not on the margin, the fans have been amazing. We had an amazing run in America. with the best people, and you know, Chris Contos and Craig Lockery and you know, Juan Garcia and yeah, just amazing people coming out and joining us on stage and playing songs. You know, they're at the DNA Lounge in San Francisco. Craig Lociero from Forbidden gets up and plays Rip Ride with us. Should we play Rip Ride? Well, we weren't on that album. Should we be playing it? Well, the fans wanted to hear it, and Craig, it's the biggest song for him. It meant something when he was a kid, and he came off and he said, "I feel like I'm a kid again." There you go. That's what it was about. Nobody went like, "Oh, that's you shouldn't be doing that. This is all wrong." Nobody did that. They just celebrating the music, and that's what we do. So um, brilliant, brilliant. Having Chris Contos tell us that he, can I do Witching Hour? I did it with Machine Head and Slayer. I'm like, yeah, if you want. So he plays it, and he comes up going, "Oh man, that was so cool." That's what it's about. Nobody was like going, "Well, that's not right. He's not Abaddon, and you're not Cronus, and that's not Mantis." It's like we just all sang the song and all had a good time. And so it's a celebration of the music. It's a celebration of the music. And if you want to hear it, it'll be heard. We'll play it. But that's we're not trying to change the shape of anybody's table here. The table was set, the history is there, the legacy is there. I'm involved as much as anybody else from 89 through. So, and here I am. So, you know what I mean? We've all got a place and we've all got our bits to play. So go play them. Just go play them.
I want to thank you for being on the show. This has been fantastic.